Something you'll hear a lot of people talk about is innovation in business, but not a lot are talking about sustainable innovation. And what we really mean here with sustainable innovation isn't anything green or eco-friendly, although these programs may take that form. Really what we're talking about is putting this sustainable framework in place for bringing your workforce's full range of insights and capabilities to bear to help you stay at the forefront of changing business environments and to be able to do that on a consistent basis. Now, the interesting thing is that this approach presents kind of a radical change in mindset from traditional management models, because what we're talking about here is providing employees with the latitude to prototype new approaches to doing business and to assume informal leadership roles, to think on the fly, to act on the fly, to be able to take action that benefits the organization. Now, this has not been a historical priority for organizations, right? The thing is, in today's increasingly volatile and disruptive business world, this change in operational thinking has had to become one because of necessity, right? Businesses are being forced to adopt this mindset. So researchers have taken a look at the business world and they have found out that there are no more day-to-day status quo expectations that we can bank our hopes on. In fact, continuous change is what you're going to see on an ongoing, consistent day-to-day basis in just about every single field. And also what you find based on studies and feedback and leading experts' opinions is that the organizations that are empowering their employees to speak up, to take decisive action, to change strategies in time with changing environments really are all winning at the game of business more and more. So if you want to be able to follow in their footsteps, right, to create a system of sustainable innovation in your organization, the beauty here is that you don't have to think big. Okay, you can actually always start by thinking small instead. When you remember that evolutionary change or slight shifts in thinking or business strategy can be every bit as powerful as revolutionary change as well. So you can iterate. That's a form of innovation. It doesn't have to be a massive breakthrough all the time. And the reason that so many businesses are striving to achieve sustainable innovation is that really what they found is that all it takes is one person and one idea to utterly transform the shape of an organization. So I'll give you an example. Just a few years ago, you might have had unexpected weather delays and missed connections, and they would have left millions of United Airlines passengers stranded on the runway. In fact, hundreds of employees, hours of phone calls would have then been required to help get these passengers back on track. And then what happens is a passenger asks a pretty simple question to a customer service rep. And that question is, well, if I was going to be late or I was going to miss my connector, why couldn't you just have rerouted me in advance? And today, having brought the suggestion to management's attention, now what's happened is thanks to this employee's efforts who told upper management what customers had to say, an automated rebooking system is in place at United, and it actually tracks delays and cancellations and can reroute passengers to their end destinations in seconds while they're still in flight, so none of that time, money, manpower has to be wasted. It's all automatic. Of course, another great example, over at online lodging service Airbnb, workers are actually encouraged to ship new features their first day on the job. And a designer who changed one icon from a star to a heart actually increased customer engagement by 30% and inspires the creation of a wish list product. True story. And over at FedEx, I should point out, 330,000 employees there, but they've got a 40-person team charged with driving game-changing innovations. And because all of the innovations that can be produced by a single individual, leaders are doing everything they can there at FedEx to incite employees to speak up, to take action, and routinely reconsider how they do business and create value for the organization, because they know getting employees to speak up is the big challenge. It's not necessarily finding the money or the management buy-in to get projects off the ground. So as you can see, sustainable innovation is not about having more resources. Really, it's about being more resourceful, and it's not about being a genius, it's about being more ingenious as well. And as more organizations are waking up and realizing, really the less you ask employees to think like employees and the more you actually ask them to think like owners and entrepreneurs instead, the more you're going to consistently be able to vault yourself ahead of rivals and succeed on a running basis.